It's very much a thing where, kindness is something that should be practiced. Notice that I didn't say niceness, right? Kindness, absolutely being kind and living with the intentions to be positive and be righteous and to be kind. If we're absolutely acknowledging our humanness, sometimes some things and people will pull you out of a certain energy or a certain frequency, and then there's always that practice of trying to get that back into that frequency. But there are positions, there are jobs, and there are certain ways of certain people, and it is absolutely necessary. So I would never undermine somebody that has a certain type of you know that have a certain skill and a certain way about them. There's just some people that you have to, it is very wise, and I will behoove one to, be careful with certain people. But that's where the whole kindness thing comes into play, right? Where just everybody just trying to practice kindness, right? It takes care of a lot of the issues, but we live in a very imperfect society. So, with the whole kindness things, that brings up, the topic of giving one the benefit of the doubt. But then that's where your discernment come in at, and in your wisdom, because there's a lot of people who are suffering. They're living undesired circumstances and adversities, and it's always a projection or a blaming of someone else. Yeah, sometimes you put the blame where the blame belongs, and you call people out, and you should let people know where they're wrong. But at the end of the day, you go to sleep, you wake up, it's a new day, clarity, joy comes in the morning, and then you take that power back within yourself, and that's where you see things change. So remembering that sometimes you got to be careful what you receive from people. Excuse me. Sometimes you have to be careful what you receive from people. Sometimes you have to be careful who you let in your space and who you let even touch you. Everything, when they say everything that glitter is not gold, that's literally a thing. And when you talk about spiritual warfare and things, remembering your energy and how you are sharing your energy and who you're sharing it with, understanding that there are people who are not as happy within themselves, or may not be doing so well, or are in different states of consciousness and lower levels of consciousness and things. And remembering that sometimes people go through things because of the people that they are directly connected to, the things that they are accepting, the things that they are engaging in, the things that creates automatic karma. Of course, remembering to keep in mind what we're thinking, what's in our minds, but also keeping in mind that opposing frequency, or the enemy, or what we call the devil, is also something that is actually a thing. And that when I say everything that glitter isn't gold, sometimes you have to be able to discern and be able to tell what is sent to you as a blessing, or what is going to be to your detriment. And a lot of times people suffer, or they are in undesired realities, because they are in connection with the wrong people, because they spend a lot of time around the wrong people and are closely connected, or even sharing energy energetically with the wrong people. There are people who are blessings and of the divine, that's going to help you to your highest potential, or to help you to attain the desires of your heart that is good for you. And then there are people who are karmic, and people who will have you stagnate, who will have you stagnated, people that will have you stuck, or people who will have you in a worse off position, right? There's individuals that you can be attached to who brings bad karma to you, because they have very bad karma. So sometimes you got to be careful who you let get really close to you. Then, of course, who you even let touch you, who you let hug you, and the things that you receive from them. It's one thing to want to receive something from someone so that they don't miss their blessing, and then vice versa. But at the same time, we should always be aware and should be discerning of certain people and certain energies, and being able to tell what the intent is. People are being in devoted, committed connections with people who have bad karma. And then they wonder why, they experience adversities, or why their life is spiraling, or they are experiencing things that they absolutely do not want to experience. Sometimes it is the thoughts, and then your thoughts, it is a projection, and it becomes materialized, and then you start to see things that are a reflection of the things that are in your mind. A lot of times when you see people who are in connections and community and groups and friendships, relationships with certain people, those people are a reflection of somewhere, some part of their mind, their mindset, their consciousness. They are a reflection of that on some level or another. If you see someone who is a fighter and a stand-up individual who is a protector or something like that, they're probably going to be around people who are protectors and things. If you see someone who is a thief, or someone who who is a habitual liar or something like that, they'll probably be around people who have and share those same traits. If you see some people who are high vibration and respectful individuals who are powerful and they're leaders and things like that, you will see them around people who take the initiative, who are leaders, and who are compassionate, and who are goal driven and motivated, and who are community oriented, who are family oriented. You'll see people of such. So a lot of times people attract exactly, when they say that people attract exactly what it is that they are, we tend to attract some part of ourselves, some part one way or another, in one way, fashion or another. And of course they say like minds think alike. That's absolutely a thing. So if your circle is not helping to evolve you and to help to motivate you to your highest heights, and to reach your goals and desires and your vision, then you might want to change your mind, and then also to change your circle. Change what it is that you're thinking. Are you thinking very small? Are you insecure? Do you beat yourself up? Do you believe your thoughts? Because some people say that they're experiencing hearing voices, or they believe that there's certain voices or influences of something that may be influencing the way that they are thinking. And you wonder, is it someone else's energy? Is it your energy? Is that your voice in your head, or is that the voice of the enemy, or of a lower vibration, or a dark entity? Right? So your personal feelings about yourself, and your voice, your genuine voice. What do you feel about yourself? What do you think about yourself? What do you think about people in your community? What do you think about the world? And are you genuinely happy? Happiness as a practice, happiness as a lifestyle. You start to attract love, and then people start to show you love. And then that feels really, really good. And then you start to show love, you start to show more love to people in turn. And that's how this works. That is how, the world and the universe work. But if you're always around people who don't like themselves, they're insecure, they're down on themselves, they're stuck in just a one-track mind, very small-minded, and they have a very lack or impoverished type of mindset, and they have a doomed to circumstances, or a doomed to hell type of mindset, then you will probably take on that mindset too. Is your mindset of heaven? Is your mindset of hell? Are you indoctrinated to the thought that heaven and hell is a place, where hell is a fiery place and you're damned to a lake of fire, and then heaven is what you find when you transition out of this world? I want to challenge you, not on no preaching stuff, but I want to challenge you to change your mindset, and to think of it in a way of, it is a way of life. It is a thought. It starts in your mind. It's a thought process. So if I want hell, then I'm going to attract hell by the people that I'm around, by the thoughts that I have, and the things that I actually believe about my world and the people around me, the people that's in it, and myself. If I want heaven, then I should be practicing peace. I should be practicing love. I should be practicing happiness, joy. I should be practicing abundance, prosperity. Everything that I touch prospers. Every person that I touch prosper. Everywhere that I walk is prosperous. And I have a high vibration, and I have abundance, and the people that I love have abundance. The people that I love is happy. They are a reflection of me, and I am a reflection of them. My progeny is a reflection of me, and I am somewhat a reflection of her. And then I have heaven. I have peace. I have joy. I have happiness. I have ease in my going and my coming. So, when they say it is about the things that you believe about yourself, or some will say, well, I'm a pretty happy person, but what would you say on the days when I'm not feeling my best? The days when I'm not feeling 100, when I'm not feeling positive and inspired? Then just be. On the days when you're not feeling inspired and you're not feeling 100, you're not feeling positive, and you're not feeling in your highest vibration, then just be. Allow yourself to be, giving yourself empathy and compassion and acceptance of whatever it is and wherever you are in that moment and whatever it is that you have going on. If you are replaying the same day and the same day of undesired circumstance, then it is something that you have to change. And I'm gonna tell you, 9 times out of 10, it's not something that someone else is going to be able to change for you. You have to change it for yourself, and you have to adopt the mindset that nobody is going to come to save you. You have to save yourself. And sometimes saving yourself is getting with the right people, getting with strong people, getting with powerful people, getting with people who inspires you, people who love you, people who's going to cheer you on, people who are genuine, people who's going to be real behind your back and to your face. And people that that is so genuine about you that they will go to bat for you and that they will go to war for you. When they talk about, oh, he or she will give you the shirt, give you the shirt off of their back, those type of individuals, that if the heat is put up on them or next to them, that they're still going to hold you down, and they're still going to uplift your name and have your back no matter what, because they know what time it is with you and them. Those are the type of people that you want to have around you. People who are not quick to be swayed, people who are not quick to be compromised, the people who's not going to handle you because of whatever the games that the enemy plays, or whatever insecurities that people have, or because somebody is having a bad day. That they're going to keep it real. And when people keep it real, we reciprocate that, right? We recycle that. And that's how things are reciprocated, and that's how things are sustained in whatever relationship. So people need strength. They need the courage to walk away, to get with people who are of a higher vibration, who are positive, who are inspirational, and people that can actually help you get to better ground, higher ground, and better places in the world. That's what you need. So, some people have what some will call the victim mindset, and I try to say that carefully, because I know that some people will get offended by that, rightfully so, because just because you're going through something and you're thinking to myself, hey, why you're asking questions and things, doesn't necessarily mean that you are a victim. But I think that that's very much a human response. But if you're constantly staying in that way and you don't want to change, you're not doing anything to empower yourself or to change your circumstances, you can't always put the blame on somebody else if you live in the same undesired day of adversity, undesired circumstance of a repeated day, every single day. Asking yourself, what have I done in this day and time to make myself feel better, to live in a higher frequency, to change my reality and my circumstances, and to provide better for my progeny, for my family, and for my community. And then the compassion, the grace, the mercy that we give to ourselves, because again, you can't ask somebody for something that you're not giving yourself. You just hope that some people are just very kind people in general, and they're going to treat you kind, period. But with the world being a very tricky place and time in these very unprecedented times, you have to rely on yourself. It's a time where relying on ourselves is going to be the best course of action. And then we get with like-minded people who can empower us and build us and help build each other. And then, it becomes a team effort. So one may say, some people, become insecure or envious or jealous of certain people's paths and what they have going on. And it's like, you know, you can also have nice things or good things, or maybe some of the things that some people have that you may want. But it's not a go to sleep and wake up and I woke up like this. We're not on no Beyonce like that unless you just look good. You know what I mean? Maybe on that level. But when we're talking about changing and giving ourselves mercy and grace where we may fall short, or where, you know, our humanness come into play, that's one thing. But at the end of the day, it's a literal work. It's a work. You know, I don't roll out of bed and then people who knew me since a baby say, oh wow, I seen you had these challenges or whatever. And then, you know, God loves her more than me. You know, they talk about the chosen ones and then they talk about the anointed ones. And I've been told my whole life that I was anointed. And this I know. But at the same time, we have to put that power back in ourselves, and we have to recognize that power. That's the only way out. They say that the only way out is going in. So yeah, like in the most minute, smallest way to put it, yeah, you have to go in to recognize that power that you have and to take accountability over your own life, your own mind, the things that you want, the people that you want to see in your life. And it's not easy. It can definitely be, you know, a challenge, but it's a work. You know, when people are really doing the work on themselves, they don't roll out of bed and then they reality change like that. Even people who wake up millionaires another day because they may have hit the lotto or they may have hit the jackpot or whatever, it doesn't change who they are deep within if they did not do the work. So compassion, grace, mercy for yourself. And you know what you can do is you could pop out of bed and you could stand, you know, on your 10, and you can stand strong and you can say, yeah, I have another day. This is a new day for me to change the trajectory, to change my mindset. I have breath in my body. I have love, empathy, and compassion for the people that I love, and for the world. And I can change my circumstances. And if you can't change your circumstances in that particular day, then don't stop. If at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try it again. And then it's all good. So remembering your energy, what you are receiving from other people, what you are receiving, what you're coming in contact with, spiritual washes, spiritual baths, cleansing, then knowing when to fall back and being in your own energy, knowing how to feed your mind, learning to love, learning to be more open to love. You know, one of the biggest things that is so underrated to a lot of people in certain circumstances and bad situations that we overlook is that when you open yourself up and you open your mind, body, spirit, and your heart to trusting someone, loving someone, you will be surprised at how the energies and the universe bends to your begging call, to your need, your wish, and how you will feel so much better, darling. So try it. And I say try it because I'm not expecting that this is something that is going to be easy, especially with people who live a certain type of lifestyle, umpteen years, 30, 40, 50 years, or have a certain type of mindset, have a certain type of program, because whether people want to admit it or not, we're all under some type of program, right? So hopefully you are under the right program, a righteous program, right? And hopefully you can see the power and the God or goddess within yourself so that you can make things happen. And remembering that you can change your reality. You can change your circumstances. All right. I wish you guys well. Ashe, ashe.